We're going to have some fun here because we got a new segment called Kaz's Keys. Kaz is going to let us know what he thinks the three best moves are for the Knicks. Kaz, number 3, let's hear it.
Number 3, I'm so excited to do this, by the way, Ian. I've been really studying, making sure we got this down. My first key for Kaz's Keys tonight is number 3, acquiring Bruce Brown from the Toronto Raptors. Now, Bruce Brown is a guy who I think was instrumental to the Denver Nuggets championship run last year. He got broke off this summer, got paid a whole lot of money, and now he went to Indiana, and obviously probably wasn't the best fit for him. They play a style of basketball that doesn't really necessarily accentuate the positives for Bruce Brown. You don't really see what he brings to a team when you're getting up and down a million times a game and not really playing a whole lot of defense. But I think Bruce Brown sort of is a hand-in-glove fit as far as Tom Thibodeau guys. Now, obviously, people might say, you already got Josh Hart. You already got guys like Miles McBride, who's rising a little bit. Why would you want to bring in another guard who's going to sort of come in and possibly take some shine from them? My reply to that is that New York Knicks are establishing a culture right now of toughness, of grit, of smart, veteran basketball players who have won on a high level. Dante DiVincenzo's done it. OG Anunoby has done it, even though he was injured during that championship run. Jalen Brunson, for the most part, has done that. And I think Bruce Brown sort of fits that role. And as far as being a guy who can come off the bench, score in a way that Alec Burks, that Steve mentioned earlier, I think he's a great fit. If the Knicks go out and get him. And also, you could probably get him for a little bit less expensive than the other shiny toys that might be out there on the trading block. Number 2 on Kaz's Keys, and it might be a little bit of a, something that I don't think Knicks fans want to hear, but just hear me out here. Hold on to Evan Fournier's contract. Now, the one thing that the New York Knicks have done so well this season, and for the past several seasons, is smart front office moves. They don't have a single unsavory contract on their entire roster, and the only one that looks a little suspect is Evan Fournier's. But if you just take a step back a little bit, he's a guy who's going to earn almost $18 million next year. It is a team option. And if you look at the free agents in the next upcoming summer, that number that Evan Fournier is making could be very consequential as far as possibly getting possibly a third star alongside Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle in the summertime. Now, as of right now, the New York Knicks had been rolling. They stumbled a little bit against the Los Angeles Lakers, but I don't think you have to necessarily be in a huge rush to deal Evan Fournier if you have the opportunity in the summertime to use that free money to go and get one of these guys in the offseason that can really keep the New York Knicks in championship level contention for the foreseeable future. It might sound crazy. We might have to have a little bit of patience, Knicks fans. And I know we've been trying to figure out where we can flip that Evan Fournier dollar contract for. But maybe this offseason is where you really cash in on that. And last but certainly not least, my number 1 key for Kaz's Keys as we approach the NBA trade deadline is acquiring Jordan Clarkson. Now, yes, Jordan Clarkson is a guy who has been in the 6th Man of the Year conversation for much of his tenure as a member of the Utah Jazz. But if you haven't noticed around the New York Knicks right now, or it becomes the Villanova Knicks or the Kentucky Wildcats, the New York Knicks are trying a brand new thing when it comes to winning basketball games. And that's the power of friendship, huh? Anybody like the power of friendship? Jordan Clarkson, Julius Randle, both part of the last sort of Los Angeles Lakers, Kobe Bryant Lakers team. They came into the league together. They had that chemistry as rookies joining the NBA, and now they've both grown into great players. You've already satisfied Jalen Brunson. You got him as Villanova guys and Josh Hart, DiVincenzo, and even Ryan Diacono, even though he hasn't scored a bucket in 20 games, made NBA history doing that. I think Jordan Clarkson could slide right in as one of Julius Randle's homies who could come in and answer a lot of questions that the Knicks have. We saw what happened with the Memphis Grizzlies yesterday. You mean to tell me a guy like Jordan Clarkson couldn't hold off that Memphis Grizzlies team by himself, just getting buckets and keeping Jalen Brunson off the bench so they could stay healthy for this All-Star break? I think he is the guy that you can go after, and he is my number 1 trade target as far as the trade deadline comes around. That is my Kaz Keys for today.